Hi everybody. Okay, I got a kind of a weird story to tell. And this happened today, so, well, some of this happened today. And I wanted to share this story. I think it's pretty interesting, but it's a little bit crazy. So, I was texting with somebody today, and she's having a hard time letting go of stuff, like really hard, letting go of some old stuff that she feels guilty about, stuff that she feels shame about, and also some stuff that she is still in pain about from her past, and she can't let it go. And I said, I know that you can heal. I know that you can heal. I have healed a lot of stuff myself personally. And I said, you have to find a way to let it go. She says, I don't know how to do that. And I said, you can do it. You have to figure out how you're going to do it. You have to decide that you're going to do it, and then you find a way. And she was really trapped in that loop of guilt and shame that's just really can wrap you up. And I've been through that myself. Man, I grew up Mormon, tons of guilt. Tons. Guilt, shame, everything. It's part of the religion. Anyway, so I finally said to her, look, and she knows some of my history. I said, we're texting this. I said, my father tried to make me marry the guy who raped and impregnated me when I was 15 years old. I found a way to let that go and heal it. Okay, I've never texted anything like that before. And she says, I know, I remember that horrible story. I'm like, okay. So I know that there's a way to do it. Everybody's different. How can you do it? Well, and I've told her this before. When I was going through, and it took me many years to heal, because that happened when I was 15. I'm a lot older, and a lot happened in between. So this was in my 40s at some point. This is after my son Kevin, who my parents also forced me to give up for adoption, and they sent me away to hide me because I wouldn't marry the guy who raped me. Wait, where was I, man? That just kind of made my head go, woo, because that's a lot. Anyway, Kevin, my son, who came and found me when he was right the day before he was 25, he found me. So it was after that, a couple of years after that, I think I was 46 when that happened. So I went through this phase of like, I have to figure out how to heal this because I can feel this anger on me, and I have to figure out how to let it go because I cannot carry this for the rest of my life. It's hurting me physically, mentally, emotionally. I mean, like I could, especially the left side of my body, there was like, I could feel this thing on me. I had to get it off of me. So I knew I had to figure out how to heal it and let it go. And I used the word forgiveness a lot at that time, so I thought that I had to forgive. But now I just say let it go, because some people don't like the word forgiveness. So one day I decided, okay, I cannot carry this anymore. I am gonna let this go now. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I don't know how long it's gonna take, but I am gonna find a way to let this go so that I am not carrying this any longer. And that was my door. That was when I opened the door, went, okay, I'm done with that. I'm on the other side. I'm looking for a way to forgive. I'm looking for a way to let this go. So that's opening the door. To me, the minute you decide that you are going to heal, you've opened the door to healing. You've opened it up, you can find a way. So I had to look, and I read books, I did, I read articles, I listened to radio programs and watched TV shows. How can I heal this? How can I forgive and let go? And it took me about a year of just really diligently searching, how can I let this go? And one day Oprah was on, and she had a show on forgiveness. And this show, there was a whole bunch of mostly women, but there were men there too, who were in different stages of forgiveness, letting things go. And you could tell some, even though they said they had let it go and healed or forgave, they probably really hadn't. But you know, hey, you are where you are in the process. They were trying. So I'm watching this, and a woman came on, this just amazing woman who kept saying, I let go and let God. I decided I was going to heal from that, because she had been beat up so bad that her mother couldn't recognize her in the hospital. The only way she recognized her was like by a scar on her foot or something crazy like that. And she had noticed how much it had changed her life after this event had happened, that she decided that she was going to let it go and heal, and completely heal and just let it go. And she kept saying, I just let go and let God. I let go and let God. I let go and let God. And she said, and I let it go. I just let it go. And I'm watching this woman, I'm like, okay, she has really let it go. And she even said that she had written a letter to the guy who did this to her, who was in jail. She had written a letter to him saying that she had completely forgiven him and let it go. And he wrote her back and said, oh, well, it was all your fault. So I guess trying to victimize her again. And she's like, no. And she said, I could have dinner with this man. I could have dinner with this man, and it wouldn't bother me at all. That's how much she had let it go. And I was so affected by this woman, I just broke down and cried while I'm watching this, like, wow, okay, this woman has completely let this go. Now, in the process of watching this, and this is such a big story, I'm like condensing it, but I do have a video of the longer version, but still, yeah. So, in the middle of watching it, I feel this tap on my head, and I'm crying and going, oh my God, okay. A literal tap on my head, and I see this bubble of light, and inside this bubble of light, there are three beings. They're male, they've got white robes on, and they're all light. And I heard the words, it's only a lesson, let it go. And then I saw a picture of my mom and dad inside the bubble. The beings were replaced with a picture of my mom and dad. And I'm looking at it and I'm going, and this is with my eyes open. This is like live action. It's not in my mind's eye. I am watching this happen. And it's only a lesson, let it go. And I said, okay, I'll let it go. That was my mom and dad. Let it go. And then another tap on the head. I look up the bubble, the three guys are there again, the beings of light. They said, it's only a lesson, let it go. And then I see the entire Mormon church inside my bubble. So, because I was angry at the Mormon church. Pretty angry because they were part of the whole scenario. And I heard, it's only a lesson, let it go. Big picture of the Mormon church is right there. I went, okay. I'm gonna let it go. I'm letting it go now. And I let it go. And then, again, I got another tap on my head. Tap, like physical. Again, the beings of light are in this bubble. And they said, it's only a lesson, let it go. This time, it was the guy who raped me, which completely shocked me. I didn't know he'd be there, because I guess it's something I just didn't want to really consider or think about. It's easier to be mad at my mom and dad and the church and not look at that big piece. And that's a big piece. Anyway, it did surprise me. And I went, okay, I'm going to let it go. And I let it go. And then poof, they're gone. I cried for about 2 hours solid, like literally 2 hours, on the floor, bawling, crazy bawling. I finally stopped, got up, washed my face, and I knew I had let it go. Now that's dramatic. That is a dramatic way of letting something go, but I needed help. And I prayed a lot, and I asked for help a lot, because I didn't know how I was going to let it go. I just didn't know. But this is going back to, I had decided I was going to find a way. So I got some help. Quite a dramatic story. Anyway, after I washed my face, I thought, I cannot wait to see what the world looks like from my new eyes that are fresh, because I've let all this go. So life should look differently to me now. And so I washed my face, put some makeup on, put some clothes on, and went to an astrology class. Anyway, that's my story. I let it go. So I don't know exactly how you let things go. It's a process. But the biggest part of it is you have to decide that you're going to let it go. And then search for a way, ask for help. You can let it go. Anyway, and you don't have to call it forgiveness, because some people, it's really hard to forgive. But if you can just let it go so that you can get on with your life, so this thing is not something that you're carrying. It's something that you've let go of, so that you have freedom, you have clarity, and you can live your life in a much bigger way because you have freedom from your past. Anyway, that's my story. Hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, anyway, let it go. I don't know if anyone has any good ideas about how to let things go. Please leave them in the comments. It could maybe help some other people. Anyway, that's my story for today. I think I already said that. All right. Anyway, bye everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye.